Right now at 5, authorities investigate a massive littering violation in Newton County. Now we've got mostly cloudy skies. We also have some patchy, dense fog and a few showers trying to develop. Take a look at that forecast, get you out the door. Plus, Kansas health officials call for a stream advisory after detecting elevated levels of E. coli.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Chris Warner. This is finally Friday, April the 25th. We have made it to the weekend. We've had some showers, and I want to just let folks know, I talked about this during the noon. Right now, all of these thunderstorm chances that we've had have not been from a frontal boundary, not from your traditional sources. They're weak waves riding the jet stream. And thankfully, David Payne down at News 9 in Oklahoma City got home last night. They were on the air with severe weather coverage, but he also kind of reassured that I'm absolutely not crazy because with these waves, all it takes is a little variance, a storm to develop in one place instead of this place, and it throws everything off, and that's what's really been happening the last couple of days. Now, next week, though, it will be an actual frontal boundary. It will be organized thunderstorm activity, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But we're right back to that again. Downtown Pittsburgh, if you look, we're starting to see some of that patchy fog out there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. If you look in the lights up here, you see that little bit of haze. We have that fog. And so here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker first. Got a few scattered showers in some of our northern counties. Got a couple more showers forming out here. We have additional showers, thunderstorms out to our west. And now those are moving southeast. This activity here is almost moving east. And then we have this new activity that's trying to develop. We've got recycling showers now building into parts of southeast Kansas. The only dense fog advisories right now are Delaware and Benton counties through 8 o'clock this morning. But the fog tracker, we've got significantly reduced visibilities, almost following I-44 down to 69 and then diving south. So Iola, Miami, Grove, Joplin, Carthage, significantly reduced visibilities, but we've got a number of locations with lower visibilities. Remember, use your low beams, not your high beams, and of course fog lights if you have them. And make sure you're giving yourself time to get where you're going. Some of this fog is patchy. On my way in, it was clear for a stretch, and then that dense fog, your visibility drops to 5 feet in seconds. So you need to be prepared for that as well. Future track, not much to show. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies today, and similar to what we've seen the last few days. An isolated pop-up shower thunderstorm will be possible out there, but I think the majority of us are going to remain dry as we head into the afternoon and evening. In fact, it won't be until tomorrow afternoon that we'll start to see slightly higher rain chances building back in. We're at 57 in Joplin. You can see some of that fog out here on that KDOT camera. 59 in Pittsburgh. Across the region, temperatures to the upper 50s, low 60s again. And this is like a couple of days ago where we had almost an even mix of 50s and 60s. So not a bad start to the day out there. Kids getting on the bus this morning. We're looking at the low 60s again, maybe an isolated shower or storm. Northwest winds later today, 72 when the bus brings them home. Our highs today heading into the low to mid 70s, so a little bit cooler. Get a pump-up shower or storm possible, slightly better chances with what's redeveloping now across southeast Kansas. That should kind of wrap up by about 9, 10 o'clock. We'll be pretty decent. Now again, next week, unfortunately, with each update of the extended severe weather outlook, it seems like it's not updating in our favor, and there have been some changes. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. In today's top stories, authorities in Montgomery County, Kansas, have charged a Coffeyville man with attempted murder. They've charged this man, Norman Starr. In addition to attempted first-degree murder, the Montgomery County attorney has also filed charges of aggravated battery, criminal threat, and criminal discharge of a firearm at an occupied dwelling. They haven't yet released many details about the alleged crime, but court documents allege Starr fired a gun multiple times toward the victim, a woman, and toward a neighboring property on Tuesday morning. Well, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a stream advisory for Cow Creek due to elevated E. coli levels caused by an underground pipe failure at the Pittsburgh wastewater treatment facility. The city discovered the issue on Sunday and began repairs on Monday, but it's unclear if the problem is resolved. The affected areas include Cow Creek, which flows into Spring River, and Empire Lake near Riverton. Residents are advised to avoid contact with water, including including keeping children and pets away. The advisory will be lifted once safety is confirmed. Newton County authorities are trying to track down the source of the trash that inconvenienced some drivers on Iris Road yesterday morning. The chief deputy says the eastbound lane was completely blocked with a massive amount of trash. Deputies were out helping traffic navigate the blockage. Chief deputy says they thought a waste management company's truck was the culprit, but based on GPS tracking, they determined that wasn't the case.
It caused some problems with people going to work, early morning traffic, that kind of thing. The deputies were out just directing traffic, getting the school buses through and that.
The trash is now cleaned up. And of course, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, all you need to do is download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the Carthage Chamber of Commerce yesterday hosted an inaugural men's leadership breakfast at the YMCA Youth Activity Center in Carthage. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton explains, the event highlighted conversations about mentorship, education, and networking.
I talked to several participants of this event, and they say events like this are great for those who want to lead.
A strength and a peace to be able to step out and do these things.
Derek Manifold is a successful business owner of Make Believe Coffee Shop in Carthage. He was asked to lead this inaugural event to encourage men to be leaders, and like many, he discovered that starting his own business wasn't easy.
It was a little scary starting the shops. We started right around the time of COVID and the pandemic.
Attendee Christopher Palma started his digital marketing business during COVID, but he said it all worked out.
Neither of us knew that COVID was going to happen in that time frame, and so it all came out at the perfect time where I was able to transition out.
And that's why CEO of Carthage YMCA, Jonathan Roberts, says organized events like these help encourage men to be successful leaders like Manifold and Palmer.
It's for men to get together to not only talk about the good and the bad, but also about the families, things that they may need, to just have an opportunity to have fellowship.
And president of Carthage Chamber of Commerce, Julie Ream, says it's needed in the community.
I think it's important for our area when like-minded individuals, the leaderships in our community, the younger generation can come together and learn from those that are seasoned in the workforce.
With that said, all these men we spoke to attribute their success to their faith.
We do like to make sure that the Christianity is a strong emphasis.
Yeah. That's how you know it's God.
Without him, I'm really not able to be anything or do anything.
Reporting in Carthage, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
If you happen to miss this event, the organizer says there will be more events throughout the year. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Riverton and Girard High School softball play a doubleheader. We got the details. Plus, China has successfully launched a new 3-person crew into space. And we've got mostly cloudy skies, a bit cooler, and maybe some showers, plus that fog to deal with this morning. A lot to go over. A lot more a little later. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Carl Junction High School baseball is 13-6 so far this season, and the Bulldogs had a home game yesterday afternoon, riding a 3-game winning streak. Hillcrest pays a visit to CJ. Bulldogs are going for their 4th consecutive victory. Bottom of the first inning, Cooper Veddix gets all of this pitch. After a couple of bounces, it hits the wall in left center, and he's got a stand-up double. A little later in the inning, Brody Pant turns on one and rips it into left field. Veddix hustles around third, and with a head-first slide, scores the first run of the game. Bulldogs jump out to a 2-0 lead in the first. Now in the second, 1 out, couple runners on for Hillcrest, but this one hopper to short turns into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. And in the third, CJ starting pitcher Chase Smith freezes the batter for his first strikeout of the contest. Carl Junction keeps Hillcrest bats quiet. Bulldogs win it 4-1 for their 4th in a row. Well, meanwhile in Kansas, we've got a CNC softball doubleheader between Riverton and Girard. In the 4th, the Trojans lead 9-5. Rams have 2 runners on. Chloe Becca grounds it to third. Gerard can't make the play. A run comes home to score, but Ava Coleman comes all the way from second. She's called safe because of the obstruction. It's 9-7 in the fifth. Rams cut the lead to just one. With a runner on second, Kinley King ties it up with a double to left. She gets thrown out trying for a triple, but we head to the sixth, tied at 10, and the seventh. Trojans have two runners on. Autumn Avery slaps a single to left, and Addison Brunk collides with the catcher at home plate, but she's safe. Gerard takes the 11-10 lead, and Lindsey Bryant makes the nice catch for the final out. The Trojans take this one 11-10. Well, the Rams look to bounce back in game two. In the second, they're down by 2, but Marley North lines a double in the gap. So we go to the next batter. Roxanne Felix grounds it sharply to third, and Breeley Merrill fields it, throws it to first just in time for the out. Rams fail to score. In the third, the Trojans have runners on second and third, one out. Maddie Kester flies it deep enough to bring a runner home. Gerard leads 3-0. Next batter, Erica Boatman. It's going to line a single to left, and it's 4-0 Trojans. But on the mound, Felix settles in, forces a fly ball to center for the final out of the inning. And the Rams rally for 6 runs while holding the Trojans scoreless to win 6-4. Over to the NBA playoffs, the Thunder play game 3 of their best-of-7 series against the Grizzlies last night in Memphis. OKC has a 2-0 series lead. The Oklahoma City Thunder go on to win this one 114-108. Still to come, Trump administration plans to drop a proposal aimed to tighten regulations over the raw poultry product industry. Plus, showers, look at that fog rolling into Pittsburgh. Details on everything you need to know when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:16 now on this finally Friday, and we are starting with the dense fog advisory map. Again, right now, the only 2 advisories we have are for Delaware, Benton County through 8 o'clock this morning. However, you can see dense fog almost following I-44 back down to 69 in Oklahoma and then diving south. So Grove, Miami, Joplin, Mount Vernon, Carthage, Iola also, because we have some patchy fog up around the Iola area, which does stretch around surrounding communities. We got patchy dense fog out there across most of the area and on most of our major highways this morning, so you need to slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. And a reminder again, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you have them. And you also have to watch out as well. Like I said, on my drive here, things were clear for a bit and then you'd hit that patchy fog, but the thing is some of it's very dense, and so your visibility goes from just fine to almost nothing in seconds. And then it clears back up again on the other side. So you need to slow down, make sure you're paying attention. Now on top of that, we have these showers now entering some of our northern counties in southeast Kansas. We had a batch of showers earlier, it died out. We've got some trying to get going again. Nothing strong, nothing severe, not even any really thunderstorm activity out there. But there's that batch that kind of died out, trying to get some redevelopment along the Kansas-Oklahoma border. This activity, diving southeast, this activity was moving east along 70, but it does look as though it's maybe trying to take a slight southeasterly turn. But again, the good news is between here and at least through Monday, no severe weather expected across the area. This is Friday. By noon, future track, mostly cloudy skies. An isolated pop-up shower storm like what we've seen the last couple of days will be possible, but most of us will be dry. The slightly better rain chances, thanks to activity that's ongoing right now, will be from now to about 9, maybe 10 o'clock this morning at the latest. We head into Saturday, maybe an isolated shower or 2, otherwise cloudy, and then thunderstorms will begin to pick up a bit. Again, no severe weather expected out of any of this activity, but we'll get some scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into Saturday evening. We go overnight and into Sunday. Similar situation on Sunday. A few isolated pop-up showers and storms out there. Not everybody getting rain, but at least some of us will. Now, we're going to talk about next week here in just a moment. Through the morning, again, some isolated thunderstorms out there. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, some patchy fog. Upper 60s by 11. It will be a few degrees cooler today than where we have been, but still not bad. Heading into low 70s, maybe a pop-up storm or two. Northwest winds 5 to 10. North winds, I did not fix that, but northwest winds tonight as well, about 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy overnight. Should be dry overnight as well, into the upper 50s. Sunday, again, a few isolated storms out there. It is Monday, Tuesday, and then into very early Wednesday morning that we are still watching very closely. So we're looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms Monday. That cap may not be as strong. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, and it was having an impact on what our storm chances were looking like going into Monday evening and the late night hours. Well, it looks like, unfortunately, things not going in our favor, and we'll show you our severe risks. But we've got thunderstorms becoming more widespread late Monday, continuing into early Tuesday morning. Maybe a brief pause for some of us before we see redevelopment of showers and thunderstorms out there, which could become severe pretty quickly, leading into very early Wednesday morning as well. So this is what I mean. This probable, remember, this far out, there's only two categories, possible, probable. Unfortunately, it's probable that was confined north of KC has been expanded, which also means it puts a good portion of the area now, all of us, in some kind of severe risk from late Monday into early Tuesday. And then for Tuesday itself, that risk still looking to shift to the east. So parts of the area still under a severe threat as we head into Tuesday as well. So again, no severe weather expected over the next few days, just some scattered showers and storms, decent temperatures. It's Monday, Tuesday, and into very early Wednesday morning that we've got to keep a close eye on. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this. Topping Health Watch this morning, Bloomberg News is reporting the Agriculture Department will roll back a Biden administration proposal to tighten regulations on raw poultry products. The goal of the regulation was to reduce the number of salmonella cases across the country, but the Trump administration now plans to do away with the idea. The proposal would have stopped poultry producers from shipping raw chicken and turkey after their products tested positive for salmonella. A USDA report issued last August showed the proposed regulation did not seem to prevent illnesses. It is estimated salmonella sickens about 1.3 million Americans each year in cases typically linked to contaminated food. And the U.S. has made some progress in the fight against some cancers, but prevention for others isn't increasing. According to a report in the Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention Journal, the percentage of smokers dropped from 14% to 11% in 2023. Health officials say that is good news, since roughly a third of all U.S. cancer deaths are linked to tobacco use, but there are concerns about cervical cancer. Research shows less women are staying up to date with their screenings. HPV vaccines can stunt cervical cancer, causing infections, but vaccine rates have remained static over the past few years. Findings in the report came from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Nearly half of Americans live in an area with a failing grade for air pollution, according to a new report from the American Lung Association. What we breathe in can raise the risk of several health problems, and it not only affects your lungs, but also your heart. Mandy Gaither has ways to keep your body healthy despite the quality of the air around you.
In the U.S., around 156 million people are living around unhealthy air, according to a new report using the latest air quality data from 2021 to 2023. That's about 25 million more than last year's report.
It appears that unless we make some significant changes or have some significant technological leaps, our air quality is probably headed more for the worse.
Exposure to particle pollution not only affects lungs, the World Health Organization says exposure can also raise risk of health problems like certain cancers, stroke, asthma, preterm births, dementia, depression, and anxiety. There's also a significant impact on your heart, says cardiologist Dr. Andrew Freeman with National Jewish Health.
It creates inflammation. It's associated with atherosclerosis or coronary disease, and it can increase event rates. And so we're starting to really pay attention.
To keep bodies as healthy as possible in poor air quality, Freeman says to change air filters frequently to remove irritants from the air. Properly ventilate your living space. Monitor ozone levels. You may want to avoid times when they peak. Stay indoors if possible on days when the air quality is poor, especially if you have a chronic heart or lung condition. Andy says to prioritize your health.
Exercising, eating mostly plants, sleeping enough, getting rid of stress, connecting with others. We are social beings, And there's significant outcomes data about how that impacts cardiac health.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Freeman says another facet to this conversation is working together to reduce pollution so that it doesn't affect our health. That includes biking or walking when we can instead of driving to places and being aware of our emissions. He says eating a more plant-based diet is not only good for your heart, but also the environment. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. And again, we've got some fog rolling in out there. Patchy, dense fog across the area and a few isolated showers. Details when we come back. Right now at 5:30, Carl Junction cuts the ribbon on its first ever farmers market. And we've got some patchy fog. We've got some patchy showers out there. Have a look at that forecast, get you out the door. Plus, a new sculpture will soon call Southwest Missouri home as plans for Route 66 anniversary celebrations continue.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:30 on this finally Friday, April the 25th. I'm Chris Warner. Thanks for joining us this morning. We've had some interesting weather patterns the last few days, and what it is we haven't had a front or a pressure system, anything that traditionally sets off thunderstorm activity for us. We've just had waves riding the jet stream. That's why these storms have been a little hit and miss here and there across the region, and that's what's been continuing to happen, and that's what is likely to continue today, tomorrow, and at least into Sunday. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look at that fog bank rolling in south ends of Broadway here, and you can see you can kind of see the light on the top of that tower. MoDOT camera 20th in range line in Joplin is actually looking slightly better in terms of the fog than what it did before. It wasn't overly dense at this corner, but you could see it off in the distance into the lights here at the Bel Air Center. We also have showers. We have these showers in our northern counties. We've got this guy, it's trying to get going. Another one down south, hugging the border between Craig and Newata counties in northeastern Oklahoma. So we did have a little batch of showers here. It died, and so we got some redevelopment trying to take place. Same up here, trying to get going. Just a few showers here and there. And we've got other showers and storms, but these not really expected to have any kind of impact on us. And our better chances for rain are going to be from now to about 9, 10 o'clock at the latest, and most of those will be out to the west. Dense fog advisory still only Delaware and Benton County through 8 a.m., but you can see we've got dense fog now right in the I-49 and 69 corridors down south. Joplin at half a mile of visibility, Iola at 7/10 of a mile, Carthage just under a mile. So again, slow down, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them, and also be cautious because again, some of this fog truly is patchy. You will have great visibility, and then in seconds it drops to almost nothing. So slow down, make sure you give yourself time to get where you're going. Again, out to the west, a few isolated showers, a couple of thunderstorms possible between now and about 10. Once we get past that, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies and just opportunities for pop-up showers or thunderstorms heading into the evening. And then those chances will also go away and will be dry but cloudy overnight tonight. 58 in Joplin right now, 59 in Pittsburgh. You can see some of that fog there from the KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh. Temperatures this morning, not that dissimilar to what we've seen the last few days, but a few more low 60s this time though. Upper 50s and low 60s. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Again, for some of us, some isolated showers and storms, the low 60s and calm winds. When the bus brings them home, 72. Mostly cloudy, northwest breeze at about 5 to 10. Again, an isolated pop-up shower storm will be possible into the afternoon. Most of us dry. Our highs today also a little cooler into the low 70s. Now, unfortunately, our severe chances next week have actually increased a bit. We'll go over all those details with you in the full forecast coming up here in just a few more minutes. In this morning's top headlines, an event at the Miami Public Library got some young green thumbs dirty yesterday. Area kids learned how to make dish gardens. Now, experts from the Ottawa County OSU Extension Office gave the kids step-by-step instructions on how to plant and create their own unique botany design.
Personally, I like doing these activities. I love being able to teach kids and to watch them come back as 4-H members teaching kids. I think that's when we know we've done our jobs. That free event was open to aspiring botanists ages 4 to 12.
Carl Junction community members cut the ribbon on the newest farmers market in the 4 states right next to the Briar Brook Golf Course. This is the first time CJ has ever hosted its own market. There were about a dozen local vendors with lots of options to pick from: honey, soaps, flowers, and even strawberries.
We have a pick your own strawberry. We've got around 20,000 strawberry plants. We have about 1,000 lavender plants that we make our own oil. And we sell different varieties of lemongrass, lavender products. This is really a nice opportunity that Carl Junction has started for all of us.
Carl Junction Farmers Market is open Thursday evenings through October. Joplin High School's Constitution team took first place at the state competition and got recognized in a big way because of that. President of the Missouri Bar Association, Shelley Dreyer, visited the school to congratulate the students in person.
It's important that all Americans have a civic education and understand the basic principles of the Constitution, because that is the basis of our democracy. To see these students having such a wealth of knowledge about the Constitution is so refreshing.
She had also made it clear during her visit that the spotlight should be on the students and their incredible achievement. Well, a must-stop photo op is coming for Route 66 fans. Springfield city leaders say artists are in the process of designing a major sculpture to honor the Mother Road. It'll be placed near the Rail Haven Motel on the original route, funded by the state legislature to the tune of $1 million. The monument will commemorate Route 66's conception in Springfield in 1926.
We will be sharing some ideas of what that looks like to the public, getting some input and certainly some input from City Council, but it will be very prominent and hopefully very beautiful as a marker for the birthplace of Route 66.
Springfield was just named the host city for America's Route 66 Centennial Celebration. Events across the country will kick off with a concert at the Shrine Mosque on April 30th of 2026. And that's a look at some of our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, at least 50 people are dead after Israeli airstrikes continue to target the Gaza Strip. Plus, we'll learn about what the conclave's next steps are after Pope Francis's death. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch this morning, China successfully launches a new 3-person crew to its space station. A lot of pomp and circumstance took place Thursday ahead of the Shenzhou 20 liftoff from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China. Well-wishers waved flags and flower bouquets cheering for the crew. The 3 astronauts will replace the previous crew on the Tiangong space station for a 6-month mission. Their tasks include conducting experiments on space life and human body research, microgravity science, and new space technologies. Well, at least 50 people are dead in the Gaza Strip after Israel launches strikes across the region. According to the local health ministry, many of those killed included women and children. The strikes reportedly targeting a residential building, a police station, and a tent for displaced Palestinians. The Israeli military says they were targeting a command and control center for Hamas, as well as members of the terror group. Israel ended its temporary ceasefire with Hamas over a month ago and sealed off the region from food and other imports to pressure the Hamas into releasing hostages still held inside. Around 24 are believed to be still alive. The Best Picture nominee Conclave saw its streaming numbers spike this week. You can probably imagine why. The religious and political thriller follows the mysterious and shrouded in secrecy process of picking a new pope. So what do we know about the papal conclave, and what will be at stake when cardinals decide who will succeed Pope Francis as the head of the Catholic Church? Anna Alopiolis reports.
As Catholic cardinals flock to Vatican City for the funeral of Pope Francis, they're also gathering for discussions on who will succeed him in a secretive behind-closed-doors process known as the conclave.
And they'll be locked in together, and they'll have rounds of voting until they select the next pope.
Francis represented a more progressive approach for the church. The first pope from the Americas, he put an emphasis on making it more accessible and welcoming to regular people.
It wasn't just about beliefs, but it was primarily about moving out into the world and serving people.
The church's competing ideological wings could be at odds over the best path forward.
The church is already divided, and the people in red hats who do not like the direction in which Pope Francis has taken the Catholic Church make no question about the fact that they want something different.
Any baptized Catholic is eligible to be pope, but the church hasn't elected someone who's not a cardinal in more than 600 years. It's possible we could see the first pope from Africa or Asia, where the church has larger opportunities for growth. The cardinals will keep voting until a 2/3 supermajority is reached.
And if there's no winner, black smoke will come out of the chimney and above the Sistine Chapel. If they should elect a pope, then the famous white smoke billows out of the pipe.
Francis' funeral Saturday begins a traditional 9-day period of mourning. The earliest the conclave could begin is May 6th.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:44 now on this finally Friday here in the 4 states, starting with the dense fog advisories. Again, at this point still, Delaware, Benton County, the only dense fog advisories we have through 8 a.m., but you can see we've got patchy dense fog across most of the region. Everybody has reduced visibilities out there, some less than others. Iola down to 0.4 of a mile, Miami just under a mile, Grove, you're almost back to zero again. You started there when I first got up here about 4 and checked at about 4 a.m., you were down to zero. You're up to 1/10 of a mile. But we've got dense fog. It's also impacting a number of our major highways and roadways. So you need to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you have them. And the other thing you got to watch out for is, again, as I mentioned this morning, just my short commute up here, things were clear. And then all of a sudden, there was that fog. And within seconds, your visibility goes to almost nothing. So you've got to be careful. You got to be aware. Got to be cautious as you're traveling this morning. Then we've got some showers. They're trying to get organized. They're not doing anything, nor are they going to get strong. They're not going to get severe. It just means that they're organizing in terms of they're trying to fill in. We're getting a little more development here and there. So we had this fire up, tried to go thunderstorm-like. There's a little bit of lightning with it. It stopped. But then we're seeing all of this start to kind of fill in out here after all of that activity died out. Now this storm system dying, but also diving southeast. This, I think, is also diving southeast. This one here was moving east, but it is starting to try and feed southeast. So again, that's what's going to give us slightly better shower and thunderstorm chances, mainly west of 69 from now through about 10 a.m. After that, we get to a point where we have been the last several days where we're looking at isolated to widely scattered pop-up showers and storms. Most of us will be dry. Those will stop once we lose any daytime heating, which won't be a lot, by about 5, 6 o'clock. Then tomorrow morning, we see the return of initially some pop-up showers and storms, and we start to see a few more organized showers and storms as we head into the afternoon. Again, no severe weather is expected, but we'll get a little more shower and thunderstorm activity out there for us. And this same process will repeat as we head into Sunday. The next week, though, is what we got to talk about. And the reason we've had just these random storms all over the place, because this has been a thing from here all the way to the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. These are just waves riding the jet stream. It's not a cold front. It's not a pressure system. It's not a traditional trigger for thunderstorms. That's why they're spotty. They don't move much in some cases, and not everybody is seeing something. But next week, we have an actual frontal boundary coming in, and that's why we have that greater severe risk, which we'll go over. Again, a few isolated storms, mainly out west through about 9, 10 at the latest. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, upper 60s by 11 a.m. Highest today, a little cooler, low 70s across the area. Northwest winds around 5 to 10. Again, I've not had an opportunity to fix this, but this is a north breeze at about 5 to 10 overnight tonight, falling back into the upper 50s and a couple of low 60s. Next week, though, is what we want to watch. Monday, we're looking at thunderstorms. We talked about the cap that may be in place for Monday, and that was going to have an impact, on how many storms we saw, let alone how strong they could get. Oh, unfortunately, it looks as though that cap may not necessarily be as strong as what data was showing yesterday. So we are looking at thunderstorm initiation late Monday evening into the overnight hours. These storms will have the possibility of becoming severe. This will continue overnight into early Tuesday morning. We might get a brief pause, and then we'll see redevelopment of thunderstorms along this boundary. And you can see where it cuts off. We've got 60s, almost 70 here, then upper 60s back off, upper 50s back off to our northwest. These storms will refire by the afternoon on Tuesday and could be strong to severe as well, and will not leave our area until early Wednesday morning. So some of that bad news is the probable for Monday's severe weather outlook that was up here has been expanded and does reach into southeast Kansas, which also means the possible for Monday evening into Tuesday morning has also been expanded. So we do have that chance of strong to severe thunderstorms and possibly significant severe weather as we head into Monday and even into Tuesday next week, because that risk will shift to the east. So between here and there, nothing severe expected, but some scattered storms out there. We start warming up again too. Low 80s by Monday. We'll have those storm chances continue. A few pop-up storms Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll clear out heading into next weekend. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this. Well, today in entertainment news, a big movie preview and a trio of honors. David Daniel has details in our Hollywood Minute.
In the 1600s, 6 artists hid a clue in their paintings.
Dad spent most of his life searching for it. What do you expect to get from the family?
I want Dad to get his recognition.
The game is afoot in the latest trailer for Fountain of Youth. John Krasinski and Natalie Portman lead the cast of the global adventure film from director Guy Ritchie. Fountain of Youth premieres May 23rd on Apple TV+.
Gladys Knight is going to be on the stage singing.
It's time for Clive Davis to take the stage. The iconic music producer and executive is set to receive the Legacy Award at New York's historic The Apollo Theater's Spring Benefit. Singer, songwriter, actor, and director Teyana Taylor will receive the Innovator Award at the benefit June 4th.
I was an art school student.
Harvey Fierstein has come a long way. He's won 4 Tony Awards, and now he'll receive a special Tony for Lifetime Achievement in the Theater. The actor and writer, best known for Torch Song Trilogy, La Cage aux Folles, Hairspray, and Kinky Boots, will be honored at the 78th Annual Tony Awards June 8th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
For explorers, a famous shipwreck is the gift that keeps on giving as a sunken World War II aircraft carrier reveals new and mysterious discoveries. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A recent revisiting of a famous World War II shipwreck revealed new secrets as explorers discovered a vintage wood-trimmed vehicle and a massive hidden mural in the belly of the vessel. The site of the USS Yorktown, an aircraft carrier that sank in the Pacific Ocean in 1942, has been visited by NOAA explorers before, but a recent remote rover revisit ventured into the ship's unexplored aft hangar deck. There, the crew spotted a mysterious vintage vehicle buried in the silt. It was tentatively identified as a 1940s-era Ford Super Deluxe Woody, similar to the one seen here. But what was it doing there? A prevailing theory suggests the car could have been used by high-ranking officials for foreign port business. Additionally, the rover's cameras spotted a beautiful hand-painted map mural hidden inside one of the Yorktown's elevator shafts. The massive 42 by 12-foot painting appeared to chronicle the world travels of the intrepid carrier, which continues to reveal military maritime mysteries galore. Not so mysterious, but just flat-out cool, are these up-close images shared by NASA of a peanut-shaped asteroid recently encountered by the agency's Lucy spacecraft. The Jupiter-bound probe got within 600 miles of the rocky oblong object, close enough to capture detailed images of its craggy, dappled surface. Am I the only one that thinks it's kinda cute? Yeah, I know asteroids could have world-destroying potential. I saw Armageddon once on a bus with the sound muted, but I got the gist. I'm just saying, as far as peanut-shaped doomsday delivery devices go, this is one shell of an adorable one. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Certainly an interesting shape to that asteroid and a lot of cool mysteries with the Yorktown. We'll be right back. Well, a birthday bash from outer space. Yesterday, NASA celebrated 35 years of the Hubble Space Telescope by releasing 4 new celestial images from Mars to distant galaxies. Since it launched in 1990, the Hubble telescope has revolutionized scientists' understanding of the universe. The Hubble is credited with nearly 1.7 million observations, and it continues to work now in tandem with the James Webb Space Telescope. And today we celebrate all things trees because, did you know, it's Arbor Day. Arbor Day is always the last Friday in April. It's hard to believe it's also the last Friday in April. Trees, of course, are vital resources. They protect the Earth's topsoil from erosion, as well as providing oxygen and homes for wildlife. Trees also give us materials for building, fuel, and office supplies. The first Arbor Day was celebrated in Nebraska in 1872. challenge people to plant as many trees as they possibly could. And you can continue that tradition by planting a tree this Arbor Day. And of course, for a while, Joplin held the title of had a tree city from the Arbor Day Foundation. So plant some trees. My mom put up a bunch of trees at our old house. Most of it was on the north side to block those cold north winds. It was an older home in town, and didn't have a lot of good insulation because it was an older home. So those trees, they make a difference, man. They provide shade. They keep your house a little cooler in the summer. Lots of good reasons to plant some trees. Don't do it this morning, though. In fact, I'd wait until sometime next week because we got storm chances out there. Low 60s to start, upper 60s by 11. Out west, an isolated shower or thunderstorm be possible. Then isolated pop-up storms possible into the afternoon. Most of us dry into the low 70s out there. North winds, by the way, continue 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy but dry overnight into the upper 50s out there. And as we take a look at our extended forecast, thunderstorms through Sunday. No severe weather expected, but we're very closely watching Monday evening into early Wednesday morning for that threat of severe weather. Some of those storms could be somewhat intense as well, so a lot we want to monitor over the next few days. We'll be back right after this.